these are death threats. The best thing to do is ignore it.
Previously on TVSins, sinning and previously on of something they already sinned previously on TVSins. Ignoring death threats is dumb. Keeping your phone this close to the sink. Do you know how nasty sinks are? And that's before we even talk about how waterproof it is or getting knocked to the floor. There's a shelf right there under the mirror and a flat surface over here by the wipes. You may be indestructible, Jen, but your phone certainly isn't. Look, if you aren't going to run a vent fan or something to keep your mirror from steaming up, do not use your hand to wipe it off. Are you drunk in a late night college frat party in the 1960s? Because all you're going to end up doing is streaking. Hey, I've seen that trick on TikTok. Disney's really going all in on these funky, fresh edits, huh? Also, shutting the door to get changed when you're the only one home. Acting like you're the one that invented the terrible idea of dipping fries in milkshakes. That's right. I said terrible. I see you salty, sweet people. You've all clearly lost your minds. Drive-in theaters, for when the only thing you thought the movie-going experience was missing was the smell of gasoline and a cacophony of random engine noises. Oh, no. We're really doing the cliche Jen gets clingy out of nowhere and obsesses over a guy not texting her back storyline? For the love of Jerry Ryan, this episode is 7 of 9 and we still haven't seen Daredevil. Sometimes this show is like one of those timeshare presentations where you have to stay until the very end to find out if your wasted time was worth the mystery gift. And the costume designer said, "Can we give Nikki a scarf with a bow so big it makes her look like her head is a Christmas present?" And then someone else was like, yes.
Why can't he just text me back? Why is that so hard?
Text pressure is real, and the idea that anyone owes you a text response is part of the reason we all deal with more relational anxiety than ever before. There was a day not too long ago where when you were in the same room, you had conversations, and when you left, you just stopped existing until the next time you saw each other. So give people a break if they don't want to be available 24/7, okay? Not giving the great Muppet caper your entire attention. Also, who cut out the part where the other inmates tell Miss Piggy to go for it before she bent the bars? This is the kind of studio interference that neuters great art. Not closing your blinds on a Sunday morning. This is not a decision a normal human makes. This is a decision a gaffer makes.
We don't have the resources for a squad of uniforms to go with me.
Hold up. You're the parole officer for a previous big bad in a Marvel movie, and they didn't assign extra resources to cover the possibility that he might transform into Abomination and do a repeat of Brooklyn? That seems highly unlikely.
I figure my chances of staying out of the ICU would be much greater if I had a Hulk there with me.
You do remember the collateral damage Hulk's cause, right? Bruce sent his share of loved ones to the ICU, including his girlfriend Betty at the start of the movie. If your goal is to stay out of the ICU, maybe pursue a different form of employment and stay away from Hulks and their enemies completely. Look at how close these three cars are parked to each other. There is no way the middle car parallel parked here, so either this guy's an asshole or this guy's an asshole, and I'm sending both just to be safe. Wait, so you haven't sent a follow-up text in the last 3 days either? You're granted at least one follow-up text before you start to sound desperate. Especially after 24 hours. You could even start a new, "Hey, how's your day?" Otherwise, you might be the one inadvertently ghosting them because they somehow missed your one message. Distracted driving. Just because you'd survive a car crash by turning into She-Hulk doesn't mean whoever you hit would walk away unscathed.
Put on my green suit?
Yeah, get big, jolly green yourself. I don't know what you call it.
Hulking out.
Okay, good, whatever. Then, would you, please?
Yeah, but not on camera, or in any way that would make us have to pay for more special effects than we already have to do in this episode.
But it was worth it because my favorite chicken, Princess Silkfeather, was stuck.
Playing favorites. Even with chickens, it's harmful. You're supposed to love all your babies equally. Do you know what happens when one sibling discovers their brother or sister is the favorite? They grow up bitter, join a YouTube channel where they spend their days nitpicking movies and TV shows. You wouldn't want to sentence your chicken to such an awful fate, would you, Emil?
I have recalibrated your inhibitor, and she is good to go.
Didn't Bruce Banner invent the inhibitor? Wouldn't it take someone of his intellect to recalibrate it? Or do all California parole officers have doctoral degrees in biochem tech? At the very least, shouldn't someone from the Avengers or Sheld or Sward be out here to help?
It's just two men working through their resentments in a safe environment, Jen.
That environment, of course, being the exact time you were leaving for plot reasons.
So much unnecessary backstory.
That wasn't really backstory, Jen. That was an explanation of an actual current processing of trauma. I mean, I agree. I could have also done without this man bullshit, but I would have fourth-walled more accurately.
I can't drive this. How am I supposed to go home now?
Are you sure it's undrivable? You didn't even pop the hood or try starting it. And if a dented hood, cracked windshield, and smoking engine prevented someone from driving, I wouldn't have made it to school every day in my '94 Dodge Neon. God rest its soul.
My name's Man Bull, not Mechanical Bull.
They didn't ask you to repair the vehicle. They asked you to push it, which has nothing to do with being a mechanic.
Yeah, that felt very forced.
Admitting your jokes are bullshit.
In our ceremonial sweat yurt, we integrate the past and the present into one being.
Yurts. Not the actual structures, just the word. Makes me think of yogurt, which makes me think of yoga. Wait, if you do yoga in a yurt, would you call it yogurt? What, you want me to leave after my terrible yoga pun? Nah, I'ma stay.
Clearly you're not in a teachable mood right now.
She didn't ask you to teach her, bro. I understand you want to help, but you need to wait for someone to ask first. It's like when Nami kept telling Luffy to leave her island during the Arlong Park saga. She kept throwing dirt at him, demanding he leave her alone as she cried. He patiently waited until she realized how badly she needed his help, and only after she asked for assistance did he provide it. Man, I wish I was watching One Piece instead of She-Hulk right now. Considering you've already pounded the no service part of the situation into our brains, do we really need the extra visual aid here she's holding up her phone? Or the full minute you spend on this unfunny gag to force the plot forward?
I just want to be me. Oh, hell yeah.
Entering a room without knocking to announce yourself.
I'm just going to work over here in the 1 square meter of this property that actually has reception.
Square meter? Square meter? You take that back or I'm throwing you in the sweat yurt and cranking up the temperature to 45 degrees Celsius. But also, this appears to be sort of a superhero anonymous group, but everyone's cool to just keep sharing their shit with someone else in the room now. Also, she will immediately move away from this single 10.76 square feet of space and sit on the couch.
Remember how we talked about vulnerability and how important it is to the process?
You're just going to abandon Alguila and Man-Bull's issues to bounce to a separate problem? That's not really how a group therapy session works. I'm starting to question your abilities to run a retreat center that aids others in processing their identity issues.
How taking your suit off would be a great first step.
Title and complete content of my sex instructional pamphlet?
Woo-wee! Sorry I'm late. I lost track of time in the yurt.
Interrupting what's supposed to be a private and safe space to discuss sensitive mental health issues by shouting, "Woo-wee! Have some tact, Wrecker."
That guy's here? You probably don't even remember who he is.
I don't.
Previously on this guy.
This is not one of the guys you were previously on, so this is misleading at best.
Come on, I stacked them.
You did not stack them. You lined them up. Stack implies a pile, and none of these chairs were on top of each other. Words mean things, Man-Bull.
I'm not getting my kicks. And I'm fine.
While Jin might benefit from working through some emotional issues, downplaying the fear and anger she carries as a result of being attacked in a dark alley by 4 men with magic weapons isn't a positive way to address her problems. I'm starting to suspect that the show that can't lawyer also might struggle with mental healthing.
Throwing people across the room
Into perfectly stacked chairs.
Perfectly stacked. You left an entire 2 feet or so between these chairs and the wall, Man-Bull. That's a waste of space. And that's before we even get to the uneven distribution between the 2 rows.
Hey, getting a little worried. Just want to know you're okay. Blushing smile emoji.
Look, I once texted a friend goodbye and they immediately called because they were worried I was in a car accident and laying in a ditch somewhere and using my last remaining energy to text them goodbye. I'm just saying this doesn't seem that bad.
Like, you think life would be so much easier if I were that person. Dad, but he's never...
All right, screw this guy.
She already did? Sheesh, pay attention. You're going to miss important plot points and sound like you're... Ooh, my BeatStar box is ready to be opened.
Delete Josh's number is what he said.
What? The guy could be kidnapped and trapped in a basement somewhere and you're just going to delete his number? Hell, the dude could just need a few days of space for some personal business. Just because the show has the Josh's evil bomb in the chamber doesn't mean anyone here should know that yet.
I will never forget any of you, honestly.
That's funny, because I already have. Whoa. That was not the same way she pulled him sexily into the room the first time we saw it. When we saw the same moment earlier, she grabbed his shirt all super sexy like and dragged him in, and now she's just grabbing his arm? Is this a clue? Does it mean something? Is Josh a secret Skrull? Is Reed Richards messing with time? Did Galactus create an alternate reality? Sorry guys, I'm just really ready for Phase 4 to be over. You kept the flash on while you're trying to be sneaky? Josh is a terrible spy. Oh no, not the blood chemical thumbs up emoji combo. Is she Hulk in day?
Why aren't you calling me?
I can't imagine you calling me on a Sunday is good news.
Donuts. Is there anything they can't do?
I know exactly who I am.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Do I look like a mechanic? My name's Man-Bull, not Mechanical Bull.
What a terrible joke.
So I realized real strength comes from facing yourself in the mirror and saying,
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
How many hours a day have you been wearing that mask, Papa?
This is the way.
Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it.
Deleted!